Welcome back to StoneBlock. Today I'd like to get into power a little bit. I wanted to cover this because currently we sort of create power via this method right here. We've got these little sort of doodads, spectre coils, which produce a sort of a fairly low amount of power but fairly constantly, and we're not using it up. But if we want to head into wood any more than we are at the moment, we're probably going to be feeding the wood farm, you know, hundreds of RF per tick or something along those sort of lines whenever we set it up. So we're going to have to generate more power. And you could, if you wanted to be a little bit boring, but, you know, easy if you like, just create more magnetic generators. These things will produce more RF. And they will do so from infinite lava. But again, that's a little bit boring. We've already done it as well. So, and I can actually upgrade that that block, the Elorium block, with a different one. I forget what the name of it is, but I need to come back to that at some point. I don't worry about it right now. Anyway, so all I thought I'd do is get on with sort of plant-based RF generation. So I made a cloche. And I made some melon seeds and some dirt. Well, I got some melon seeds. I didn't make them. And yeah, I think it's time to set this up, don't you? What do we actually need to get going? We're going to need osmium, and we're going to need quite a bit of it because we're going to be going into Mekanism. And 10 ingots is not going to be enough. However, I think I already made quite a bit of osmium in our smeltery. Whoops, there's... Yep, he's friendly. Where's our smeltery output? 9 blocks. Is that enough? Well, it's over a stack. Maybe I should put more on. Let's just see. Aluminium, osmium. We've got 4 stacks of chunks. So I guess we can put at least 1 on there. Yeah. In fact, let me just get rid of that. Easiest way to get rid of this is just to break the controller and put it back down again. Yep, all done. So we can just drop most of a stack of osmium in there, and we'll get going with that. While we're doing that, we will then go and put the rest of this stuff together. So we're going to need some materials to get started, and let's just talk about what we need in Mekanism. We have already made a metallurgic infuser. We're going to need to use that to make other things. So let's first of all talk about what we actually want to make. We want a source of water, so that's going to be a sink, and easy to make that. Assuming I have some clay. If I don't, yeah, I'll need to get some terracotta. Do we actually have any clay blocks at all? Can they go into clay blocks? They can. So let's get 5 of those and put it in our ultimate furnace. Yep, done. I do love the ultimate furnace. And we need a bucket of water, so it's going to be buckets. And because we already have a sink over here near our witch water sort of area, this really does work actually. How many witch water? Yeah, 434 buckets, and that's, you know, in addition to what we've used to convert this soul sand. So yeah, quite happy. Okay, so let's just make that sink again then. Put the bucket of water and the terracotta in there. So let's make the sink. That's a straightforward thing to make. And now we're going to get onto the sort of Mekanism side of things. We have an infinite source of water. We're going to need to separate that water into hydrogen and oxygen. So we need electrolytic separator. And that needs enriched alloys. And inside here it needs more enriched alloys. Fair enough. Enriched alloys are in the metallurgic infuser, which we already have, and it takes redstone and iron to make. So we've got plenty of both of those around, so I can probably make up a stack of these, no problem. What we're also going to need is a crusher. The crusher needs these. Now I'm not going to go into Industrial Craft 2 for the moment, but for Mekanism, we do the same thing in the metallurgic infuser, but with osmium. So again, I can probably make a stack of those. So we should get that going because it takes a little while, I think. And do I have anywhere with power available? Behind this wall, probably. Yep. Okay, so let's just put down some power. This isn't where I think it's going to finally sit. This is just where I'm going to produce some power. Why don't I have any power conduit in my backpack? Did I just run out? Probably. That'll do. More than enough, in fact. And let's just put you there. And we can think about putting our infuser there. And let's just fill in that gap. Okay, so let's pop in here. We're going to want a full stack of redstone or 2. Got 3,000 of the stuff now. And we're going to want some iron, and we should be able to get iron through chickens or other things. I'm not going to worry about it too much other than just to grab a single stack for now. And we've got a stack of osmium, so we can start you processing. Why don't we start with like a full stack of redstone, and let's just start with half a stack of iron. And that also has more noise to add to the rest of the noise that's ongoing over there. I'm going to do the same thing with the osmium, and we'll get those components ready. But what we're making is a crusher, and that's going to need some steel casing with some osmium and some glass. We've already making steel on the other side of our base, and it's going to need some lava buckets. They're going to be straightforward. We're also going to need to make a pressurized reaction chamber. Easiest way to think about that is just a PRC, but you can't search for it with PRC, so pressurized reaction chamber it is, which takes an enrichment chamber, which again is all the same kind of components we've already seen, apart from these things at the bottom. The gas tank, which is osmium, the dynamic tank, which is just steel in a bucket, and again, same thing with the gas tank. So you get the idea on that one. That is straightforward. We're going to need a gas generator. Is it gas gen? Gas burning gen? Gas burning gen. Okay. Same. Yep. All the same ingredients. For the osmium dust and pulverized gold, pulverized iron, etc., we can just put them in there and then pulverizer, which we already got over there, so that's not a big deal. And we're going to want a sort of short-term battery. So we could use the capacitor from Ender.io, just as we've done before. Basic capacitor bank, that will work, and we can make that pretty easily. Capacitor. Let's just make a few of those. In fact, just enough to make one of these. So that's done. If you also want to do it another way, I think there's an energy cube. Yep, of various kinds. Again, those are mechanisms, so if you want mechanism-specific stuff, in fact, that is MJ, so maybe we'd better use the mechanism version, although these energy tablets tend to be annoying to make. At least in expert mode, they tend to be annoying to make. I'll try the capacitor. If that doesn't work, we can go back to the mechanism one. And that's pretty much it. We can get everything going with that. So I'm going to go and finish production of these enriched alloys and everything else, and we'll put it together probably down the far side of the base. So maybe next to where this capacitor is right now. Did I just... Oops. Ooh, didn't want to do that. That would have broken the capacitor as well. Behind here, do I have... I think I filled in that hollow I had with the... oh, there goes some... Let's just stick that back on somewhere, like there. Yeah, I filled in the hollow back here, but this would be kind of an ideal area because we could just feed into the back of this capacitor here, and that already feeds through the wireless network to everywhere else, so I don't have to worry about it too much, other than feeding in some bits and pieces. So I want some room to maneuver, so I'm just going to knock out 3 of the walls here, make this into a little 5x5, and then let's just grab an illumination wand and make sure it's well lit in here. Okay. And here as well. There we go. No chance of spawning. Good. We may want to sink this into the ground. No pun on the use of the sink. But I'm not quite sure where I want it just yet. It's going to be going into the bottom of the electrolytic separator. So it's wherever we base that on is essentially where everything else goes into. So for now, I'm going to assume that it's going to go right there. Okay, I haven't practiced this setup, so we may need to rearrange later. We are going to need some way of transferring liquids. That we can use ender fluid conduits for. We could use other things too, but Ender.io is my sort of fluid, well, conduit network of choice, just because you can get them all into a single block. And it even has ME conduit for the AE2 system. It's not as good as that smart cable I showed you, but it is relatively okay. And then on top of this, we're just going to be putting the electrolytic separator, which is going to need the other components. So once that's done, I'll bring it back here and we'll start assembling the other bits. Okay, so I've built various bits and pieces, and let's see if we can get them to fit together. So first of all is that electrolytic separator. We want hydrogen, and we're going to be making biofuel for this. So let's put that in there, and let's just drop down. Let's see, do I need to go into space? The main problem with Mekanism is I always forget which sides things need to go into, because these coloured sides, they are actually important. They're not just there just for show, unfortunately. Let me just grab that back again. Do you have an underside, or do you deal with each side? No. Okay, maybe just each side then. Let's first of all, before I do that, I want to see whether it can be fed from the bottom, just so I can keep this well below ground. We're going to extract and always active. We're not going to bother inserting. And let's just put that down right here, and let's see if it'll take stuff. Oh, it will. Yep, so we can feed into the ground, and that's incredibly noisy. Hang on. Let me see if that, what is it called? Muffler block will actually work for Mekanism. It seems like mod authors just like to ignore that kind of thing. So, muffler. Yeah, let's see whether this actually works. That's far, far too noisy to work around. Some of them have separate volume config stuff that we can get to if we want to, but for the moment, I'm just going to put you right there. And it's stopped because it's full. So we're just going to change this side. Is this the oxygen side? Yeah, we're going to change that side to dump the excess. So whenever it hits the top, it won't cause this side to stop as well. It will actually just, get rid of it. And you'll notice that there's really no power yet. We're going to have to jumpstart this thing. And we can jumpstart it using this later. So don't worry about it for now. And then I'm going to want to feed that, the hydrogen side, which I presume is going to be this side, into the pressurized reaction chamber there. And are you actually going to fill, or are you going to need me to just actually extract stuff? Let's take a look at what this side, what sides this thing has. Let's put it on top for a second. None. Okay, so presumably it will take them on one side, even though it doesn't have the what looks like inputs on this thing. So yeah, side config. So I guess we can control that. Eject off. I'm not going to worry about that. Input is going to be dark red. I'm not going to worry about that. That's going to be the back, top, left, right, bottom, etc. Energy is on the bottom, of course. And I'm going to have an input on the right hand side as well. Does that change the sides? Doesn't have any visual effect. Okay, let's see if that's remembered. And where did that go? Did I lose one? What? Where did it go? I literally just hit it. Unless it destroys itself. That's worrying. 1 second. Also, we need to use pressurized tubes, unfortunately. I tried using it into fluid conduits. You'd expect well, essentially a gas is a fluid, but you know, hopefully that would work. Nope. So, yeah, we're using apparently Mekanism's own pipes for this. So basic pressurized tube, just a couple of pieces of steel, and everything works. So we've got hydrogen running in here. Just to configure this, go into the side config over to the gases and make sure either side, if you're doing it that way, or either the right hand side and the back, depending which way you're doing it, is receiving gases. And yeah, now we've got hydrogen into the right side of this. So into the left side, well, we're going to need another ingredient. So we need to get onto the other side of this little setup. So let's get a few other things. I've brought out a compacting drawers because I got a comment from someone who said that the cobblestone that we're doing, which is all the way back here, using the crafter, can actually be done by compacting drawers. You're absolutely right. You can. Up to 6 quintuple now. Yep, you can just stack them above each other and pipe one into the next, and they should continue to compact. I actually don't want to use them for that in that particular context. I'd kind of like to see them in a crafting interface. This, however, not so much. All we're really going to use it for is melons, and basically making the pieces of melon available to the rest of the machines. So we've got to decide somewhere to put a, let's just knock this wall back a second. We're going to want to put a cloche, and we're going to want to put a crusher, and in between them we want to have the melons available. So let's put down the cloche for a second, and we've got to remember where the ports are. So we have a water port, we have water down below us, so we want to move that down a little bit, and we can put power in the top, so that's not a problem. And the output's going to come out here, isn't it? So let's just grab this, and maybe if I put it here, yeah, so that's going to output, and then down there is our water source, and we can still use obviously ender fluid conduits here, so let's do exactly that. There we go. And you're going to insert only, and you filled water already. Okay, and that's good. In here, why don't we just put in our dirt and our melon seeds? It's not getting any power yet, so it's not going to do anything, but it's ready. And then from the output of here, we're going to want to probably store stuff straight away into a compacting drawer, and we can probably do that again with, if I just put it here maybe, and we can just still use the ender stuff, although mechanical pipe, where is it? That's fluids. Logistical transporter is the thing that does items and blocks, so we could use that on top as well, I think. But ender IO may be faster at doing it. Let's actually give this a little bit of power so that things can go. I'm just going to start it up, producing stuff in the background. I'm just going to attach this to the top. And that should, yeah, it's going to start that, which is going to start this thing growing. That should then grow to a full melon. You can see it growing right there. Should get dumped into this, which we can then access, I think, a specific thing. Well, I may have to filter it off, but we should be able to access the pieces of melon from this and then put them into a crusher. The crusher we have right here. Okay, next step. It's not as compact as I'd like just yet, but you know, let's get it working first before I think about that. We're going to feed in more water. Yeah, that sink is going to come in really useful. Also into the PRC, into the back of it, and we go into the side config, go to fluids, make sure the back, or whatever side you prefer, is highlighted, and that is just water. So we have water and hydrogen, and then we're producing substrate, but it's also producing ethylene, which is what we're going to be using. The substrate, I'm not really too interested in. So the melon pieces here, basically I've replaced this with ender IO. I think the only place I can't use ender IO is gases. So I think I'm going to use it everywhere else, just as a matter of course, really, or excuse me, a point I want to make. Right, so melon going into the top, melon pieces going out, and there's no filter needed. This thing will only take melon pieces, so it's taking them. It crushes them down into biofuel, which comes out here into this side. Again, config, items, input. It's on the left-hand side. And then this all gets combined in the PRC, where we're going to get substrate. And I think we're just going to dump that. I was going to consider storing it. What's substrate used for? Let's just have a look. Do we need to keep it? Because if not, I'll just replace it with a bin. And yeah, what are we going to use it for? HDP pellets. We are going to need those, unfortunately. Yeah. So either I should, there we go, liquid ethylene and oxygen produces HDPE. So tempted to just send it straight into our digital system. I'm tempted to not even worry about it too much. It might produce an awful lot of substrate, but then at the same time, it's trivial, and I don't really need separate storage controllers other than like temporary buffers. And yeah, so let's just make an ender chest. And one of you, please. Let's put that into our system. And then we can just export the items out of whichever side we like of that PRC. Now, which side has got the output for the items at the moment? Items, input, I'm going to want to eject on, and maybe that will go to there. Can I then just put this on top. Will it eject? It has ejected. Good. So I can just put our ender chest here. Good. So with this, I think what I can get away with if I'm going to use Ender IO conduit is using the bottom side for the water. In fact, maybe I should do that now. Side config, fluids, and then the bottom side for water. Then we'll just go underneath here. Whoops, down 1, down 2, across 1, and connect this in. So we can input. Get rid of that because I think I want to maybe move this machine in a little bit and make this into like a 3x3-ish kind of, well, maybe even a smaller area. I would like it to be really compact, but we still have to get the Ender IO conduit underneath here for power yet. I don't want to connect the power to anything because it's going to be incredibly loud. I kid you not. Even with my sort of volume down at 7%, so that you give it an idea, that's how loud normal Minecraft is. Yeah. Okay. Now watch what happens if I just, I don't know, look at power temporarily. Let's just, oh my, this is going to be loud. Okay, ready? That's annoying. And if I connect up this, in fact, I'm going to need more than that, aren't I? I'm going to need to connect up you. Okay, so that's going. That's producing biofuel. It's going to export out to this block, which is going to make a different noise, and all of it together. I just want to be able to muffle it, and I can't. So, yeah, I'm just going to turn those off for now. It'll take them a little while for the buffers to deplete, but we'll get back to it. And from there, I think the only thing we need to deal with next is the ethylene itself, which is going to be the... Oh, I need to move away from this. Which is going to be the thing we're going to burn, and that needs the gas burning generator. I'm not going to need this capacitor bank because I moved it close enough to the main capacitor bank that we can use it to bootstrap this to get it started. We want the gas burning generator, don't we? Have I not made it gas burning? How many pieces am I missing? Steel casing. And you. Still don't know what happened to that original PRC, by the way. Unless it's like an item collector somewhere nearby, but I don't think there is. You didn't pick it up, did you? I hope not. I want the Skyrim helmet. Viking hat. Well, close enough. Okay, so then we just need to deal with the ethylene. Now that is a fluid, and I'm going to need to connect stuff for that, which is why I was thinking of moving this in. So let me just rewire this and see if I can fit it somewhere. We need to pull fluids out of that. So I think I'm going to feed in power to the bottom of that. Okay? Okay, here we go. I've moved everything around. So now it's coming out of here into here on the green channel. Output's going out on the brown into here on the brown channel, and it will appear here. We've got hydrogen, water, and we have biofuel, or we'll have biofuel shortly. And then on this side, we've obviously got the hydrogen going in. Everything is set up now. I've connected power cable up. So the only thing we need to use there for the Mekanism stuff is the pressurized tube, i.e. gases, I think. Unless there's any way to do this with Ender IO. Do let me know. I would kind of like to use Ender IO because then we can collapse even more. But for the moment, I mean, you could think about moving these two that way, but then you still have to get water into the cloche, and a lot of the sides are actually, well, the sides I can use are used up. There's only one side for water, unfortunately, so I'd have to rotate everything around. Yeah, it's fine for now. Okay, so we've then got the gas burning generator. And on here, you want to go into your side config, make sure that you have gases set to eject on whatever side you want, eject on automatically, and output. So this is the front side. So that's going to go straight into the gas burning generator where our ethylene is being stored. This now can produce energy that can be used by all of this setup. So if you can see here, I'm just removing this again. And let's just actually get rid of all of it. I should use a wrench for this, but it's fine for now. And I'm just going to pop you back on there because I don't think we're going to connect up to that side. And let's just fill this in. Nice and compact. And there. That'll do for now. I'll think about putting some sort of the cover system for Ender IO on that later. All we need to do now is hook up the power, which is input to the rest of the system, into this side, which is the output of this power. So if I just grab this, sorry, this is going to be noisy. Okay, so that's now producing power for all of this. So it should be self-sustaining, and we should be getting essentially free substrate out of it into our main system. We're going to have a look at that in a minute. But with this, we should be also producing excess power. And yeah, this is working. So what we should see over time is, or at least not very slowly either, this should start building up ethylene, hopefully. And now we can also upgrade all of these. Let me just move out of here just so that you don't have to listen to that. There is also upgrades from Mekanism. And if I can identify them visually, maybe. No. Where are they? Here they are. So speed upgrades. Obviously, we'll speed everything up. Energy upgrades. Filter upgrades. Oh. I take back what I said. I take back what I said. 1 second. I've got to go make muffling upgrades. I can't believe you've got to upgrade the machines just to make them quieter. Yeah, 1 second. I need this. I need this in my life. I need steel blend. What on earth is steel blend? Charcoal and enriched iron? No, can I just make... Yeah, I can just take steel. Steel. Let's make 5 or so of this. It should be okay in there. And I'm going to need more enriched alloy. 4 should be enough. Let's go and see what effect they have. We can also add the speed upgrades and the power upgrades. I think is there an efficiency one as well, or am I forgetting? I thought there was an efficiency one, but it's been a while. Anchor upgrade, that keeps it chunk loaded. That's quite useful. Increases the efficiency of gas using machinery. Okay, efficiency upgrade. So that's going to be good as well. The energy upgrade increases the energy efficiency and capacity. Fine. So we probably want to add all of those upgrades to this kind of system. How are you doing? 1143. So it is going down a little bit. What's low? Is it just going to be the cloche? Are you empty? No, you're not empty. Biofuel is full. It's not going in there. Why are you not going in there? Probably because I've not configured the item output. So item output should be output at the back. Oh no, it needs to be both, doesn't it? Yeah, that may not work with this. First of all, let's just go back here, go to upgrades and add an upgrade for muffling. Do the same thing to all of these just before we solve that input output issue. It should be relatively simple. I just put something into the top here. But we may have to put a filter because I'm using this connection here. And can I set you to also muffle, please? Do we have multiple muffling upgrades? We do! Oh, you have to use multiple. Oh. Okay. Fine. I'm going to have to go and craft those. There's no two ways about it. I don't want to be able to quieten these machines down. Fine. So I just need to reroute the cable so that we have an input and an output. And I can think of the easiest way would be to actually put them underneath and at the back. That saves me having to do something strange. So in this case, we're just going to then say don't extract, just insert. And the back is going to be the insert. And then, sorry, the bottom is going to be... Oh, it's going to be energy. Why don't we put the front to be energy? And the bottom to... Actually, is it the front we want? Front's on the other side. Yeah, we can use the front. Okay, say that again. So ignore that. That's going to be the output. Let's just colour that to none, and colour that to none as well, just so it's quite easy to see which way around we go. So we need to go down there one and then across. So let's just grab our item conduit, because we're going to send out of the brown channel from this side. Okay, this one is going to extract on brown, always active. They are going down. It's being fed from the back, and this is full. So this should now be producing more ethylene than we're using. And of course I can then add all the upgrades. There it goes, it's the 4K already. And I'm sure that will continue to increase until it hits the top. And of course we can either add more gas generators or indeed increase the amount of power output from them, depending on what the upgrades allow us to do. Lastly, we can take our energy output from this, and we can connect the excess to fill our capacitor bank. Now, this is producing more energy than I assume it needs at the moment. The only thing you've got to be worried about then, if it does that, is then if this somehow depletes, it's going to use all the energy available from this, which is going to shut this down. So we're going to need some way in between to deal with that. And there's a few ways I can think of. Why don't you come up with some ways in the comments, and I'll show you at the start of the next episode or something like that. You can use a... well, let me tell you what I would use. I would probably use something like a power monitor from Ender.io. And can we make one of those? We're going to need electrical steel and bits and pieces. But we can use a power monitor, and we can basically emit a redstone signal from the capacitor or power monitor, one of the two. I can never remember which way around it is. But you can basically say when it's low, do something. So, you know, start a redstone signal, and that we can then use that to control behavior, like what happens to I don't know, the energy conduit, or, you know, we have a redstone conduit. Lots of different stuff we can do. Plenty of options. If you can think of a better way, then you know, feel free. I'm more than happy to hear the options there. And I think we're done. Yeah, we're gonna put some time on the episode. That's been half an hour. Feel free to like, subscribe, share as you normally would. Feel free to put comments below if you can improve the system. And yeah, if you can compact it any further, I'm sure that's one improvement to the system. I guess, well, I'm pretty much using all sides of this pressurized reaction chamber now. Bottom side for power, front for output, right for input. This is occupying one of the slots, and the other slot's being used, and it's ejecting into the ender chest, so that's pretty compact for me. As before, as always, guys, I should say, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for some more StoneBlock.